What's the most badass thing your parent has ever done? My mom overheard our landlord bragging about how he was going to evict us illegally, but she didn't confront him or panic. She just smiled and started her own game. This guy had been our landlord for 3 years, always showing up unannounced, claiming he needed to check the pipes or inspect for mold. Mom knew he was snooping through our stuff because things would be slightly moved after each visit. Jewelry boxes opened differently, photo albums shifted, even Dad's military medals rearranged in their case. One day the water heater broke. We called him 14 times over 3 days. No response. Mom borrowed buckets from neighbors so we could heat water on the stove for baths. Then the ceiling started leaking. Still nothing. But when rent day came, he was at our door at exactly 8 a.m. Hand out, smile fake as plastic. That's when Mom overheard him at the corner store. He was telling his buddy Dave how he was about to flip our apartment for triple the rent. Said he'd claim we damaged the floors, keep our deposit, and force us out within the month. Even laughed about how we couldn't afford a lawyer. Mom didn't say anything when she got home. She just opened her laptop and started typing. For the next 2 weeks, she became someone I didn't recognize. She woke up at 5 a.m., made spreadsheets, took photos of everything. She found out our landlord owned 6 other buildings, all with the same complaints: mysterious damage claims, stolen deposits, illegal evictions. She contacted every single tenant who'd been forced out in the last 5 years. Then she discovered something better. Our landlord had been claiming our apartment was vacant on his taxes for 2 years. Section 8 fraud, tax evasion, the whole package. Mom printed everything, 3 binders full. She made copies at the library, organized them with little tabs like she was preparing for the biggest presentation of her life. But she wasn't done. She called a news station, told them about the slumlord forcing families out during winter. They were interested but wanted more proof. So Mom set up a hidden camera in our living room, borrowed from her friend who worked security. Then she called the landlord about a leak in the kitchen. He showed up within an hour, which was funny since he'd ignored us for weeks about actual problems. The camera caught everything. Him going through our mail, checking Dad's prescription bottles, even pocketing $20 from my piggy bank on the counter. But the best part was when he made a phone call right there in our kitchen, called his lawyer, discussed exactly how he'd fake the eviction paperwork, even mentioned bribing a housing inspector. Mom sat on the couch the whole time, reading a magazine like nothing was happening, even offered him coffee, which he declined while stealing from her child. The next morning, 3 things happened at once. The news van pulled up outside his office. The IRS agents knocked on his door, and Child Protective Services showed up asking about welfare fraud related to his Section 8 scam. But Mom saved the best surprise for last. See, she'd been secretly working with the other tenants to form an association. They'd pooled money, hired a real lawyer, filed a class action lawsuit. The morning he got arrested, every tenant in every building he owned received a letter. Not an eviction notice, but a court order. He had to pay back every illegal deposit, every overcharge, plus damages. We got to stay in our apartment, rent frozen for 5 years by court order. The stolen $20 from my piggy bank? The judge made him pay me back $2,000 in punitive damages because stealing from a child during an illegal entry showed particular moral turpitude. Mom framed that check. Still hangs in our kitchen right next to the newspaper article with his mugshot. He ended up doing 18 months in federal prison for tax fraud. Lost all his buildings. Last I heard, he was working as a dishwasher somewhere, probably checking water temperatures and wondering how a single mom with a laptop took down his entire empire. Mom just says she gave him what he deserved, a proper inspection.